Hello there, folks. It is SeKo Starcraft here, bringing you a game. It is the winners bracket final between Patience and Hyun, part of the qualifying series for IEM Cologne. Just wanted to go through these ones because Hyun, one of my favorite zerg players, cast a lot of his games, really fun, strong style against Patience, just a killer protoss. And as much as protoss used to be my least favorite race, and then I started playing a bit more protoss, getting a bit more into it, and then all the patches happen, and that's probably where the most controversy is right now, is with protoss. And protoss versus zerg, very interesting matchup. Can be exhilarating and long and crazy, or it can kind of just be the same old thing you see once in a while. But in this case, because we have Hyun and he's such a solid player up against a top level player like Patience, I'm excited to see what these guys do a little bit differently here, just to change things up a little bit, make things a little weird. We're on Frost. Which is Frost? Is it Polar Night? Whatever. It's the winter one. And I do like this map quite a bit. I think it makes for some very interesting games, but extremely cheesy games. You generally see a lot of proxies on this map just because of the sneak around behind the natural here. So that you can get away with a lot of different things. I've seen people like sticking like starports, for instance, like right back here, and you can fly right in with your oracles. So we'll see if there's anything weird coming out on this side. A little bit more caffeine for Johnny. Yes. Spawning pool is going to be going down before the hatch. Playing it a little bit more safe on this side. We see that Patience is going for that double gas there before the cybernetic score goes down. A little surprised he didn't scout actually back here just to check for a pylon. I mean, the spawning pool is about to finish, but sometimes it's worthwhile knowing that you're about to be cannon rushed as opposed to, oh, I'm getting cannon rushed now, make a bunch of zerglings. I'm expecting to see at least a couple of zerglings get made here. It's nice to have those out on the map just to go for a quick little scout. There they are, the first two. Zulut is on the way. We'll see if we're going to get our Nexus here pretty soon. We actually have it looks like a little bit of a delayed cyber core. I've seen a lot of people like to get out the 21 Nexus, kind of like the 21 Mothership 21 Nexus. In this case, it looks as though it's a little bit more economy focused first, getting out a few more workers before coming down to do that. Overlords will see essentially everything here, and we should have a Stalker and or a Mothership started, I would think, pretty soon. Two Lings really aren't going to get a ton of stuff done against a Nexus, but sometimes you can grab a probe or two. Seeing that Nexus timing, and I think that's also the important thing, is if this Nexus timing goes down a lot earlier, as a Zerg player you can sometimes feel a lot more comfortable going for a really fast third hatchery. Going for a little bit of a delayed Nexus means that you actually have the tech in position to go for some earlier 2-base pressure. Maybe go out there with a handful of Zealots and a Mothership core, cancel a hatch, or even get a bunch of kills on Zerglings or Queens. Speed is started for the Lings, and that's interesting for me. Hyun is somebody that I liked watching a lot because he would do a lot of skipping of any type of tech. Does find the probe. He'd do a lot of skipping of Zergling tech and go straight into roaches. But the Zergling speed and the early game Zerglings can help with so many different types of pressures, like if there was an early game blink, or anything that requires a ton of mobility, counterattacks. Having out a couple of Zerglings with some speed can make a huge difference. This hatch will go down, having the speed almost finished. There's a little bit more security. We do have a starport, Stargate. Not that far from being finished. Maybe some Oracle play. I wouldn't mind seeing Phoenixes either. Phoenixes still being so strong against Zerg play. I actually didn't see a lot of it for quite a while. But if you get out that good magic number of 4 to 5 Phoenixes, you shut down any really hard play from a Spire, because you can keep making more Phoenixes with Chrono Boost and generally deal with any type of muta harass. And even if you just go into a very gateway heavy style, having in place a bunch of Phoenixes does enable you. It's interesting that he hallucinated a Phoenix just as he made a Phoenix. It does allow you to pick up roaches or hydras. Hydra pressure is something that's been very popular for Zerg players. We don't even have Valeria yet started out of Hyun though. Very known for his macro play. Hydra play, if you got enough Phoenixes out, picking up Hydras and shooting them down because they're light units is super effective. There is our Roach Warren. We're only going to have the one spore on each base. A bit of a debate whether you should go for one or two, just so that way you have the opportunity to really reduce the damage from Phoenixes. But you're almost for sure going to get damage dealt to you because the Phoenixes can take, you know, a few shots before they lose their shields. Actually had a bit of a supply block from losing an Overlord. We'll see what the next phase is here. A lot of time Phoenix does lead very well into Colossus play. We'll see if that is the case. He's actually getting the +1 air weapons as well. So we might actually just go into a mass Stargate here in the next little bit. It's nice to get that on, you know, 3 Nexuses though, not just sitting around kind of on your 2, trying to afford to get a lot of that, because it costs quite a bit to go into really heavy Void Ray play. Some free drones. Everybody likes free drones. They're the best kind of drones. He actually used up all of his energy that he had available. Handful of Zealots here. Not going to get a whole lot done, I don't think, but we do have a recall, even if they don't get too much success. Zealots backing themselves nicely into a corner. I was about to say, a little surprised that he boosted out of there so soon. He probably could have stuck around just a little bit longer, killed a few Zerglings, and then warped out. There's our Robo, there's our Forge, more Phoenixes on the way. Where'd our Phoenixes go? There they are. Up to 6 already. There's the Hydra stand. Kind of as predicted. You almost need to get down the Hydras to deal with the really heavy Phoenix number. Otherwise, when you move out for an attack, they just pick everything up. It's just kind of funny that Phoenix control now has become a counter to Hydras just as much as Hydras have become a counter to Phoenixes. Protoss player sees all these Zerglings just kind of chilling. So many workers he's got killed right now. It's up to 8 workers already killed. But there's a pretty big worker lead right now for our Zerg player. That's just Hyun's power, just to get up that huge, huge economy. Unless you can do something that, you know, really instigates damage earlier on. All the Overlords nicely tucked in with the Spore Crawlers. Not going to get many free kills out of that. Looks like there may be a 3rd Nexus in the works. The Zerglings are moving over. Zerglings have no upgrades finished yet. Protoss players just getting out +1 attack as we speak. This isn't a lot of units, but if they can get themselves nicely tucked in with the Nexus there, they might actually be in pretty good shape. Doesn't look like Patience is paying too much attention though. Actually did pretty good with that. Or maybe he was just trying to sucker in. Ooh. And then that happened. Pretty big Roach bum rush here. Immortal is not targeting down the Roaches, unfortunately, but the Phoenixes will come back in here and take care of this. And actually, Patience takes pretty good supply lead. Not pretty. For this stage of the game, I'm saying that that's a pretty good supply lead for them there. Nexus will get down. More Zerglings on the way with the Hydras. The difficulty, as I mentioned, there's so many Phoenixes out. There's 9 already. So you can easily pick up some Hydras and just snipe them down so fast. +1 attack, already finished up. I don't know how many shots it takes to kill a lifted Hydra. 18 Hydras. That's lots of Hydras. Trying to get a wraparound on the sentries. Forcing out a lot of force fields here, but killed off a lot of lings and didn't lose much for units. And did keep those sentries alive to regain health over time. 3 probes at a time, income-wise. We can see the Zerg player is ahead overall, but harvesters-wise, we do now have the Protoss in the lead. Colossus in production along with Void Rays. He's getting out the money mix. Creep spread's been alright from Hyun so far in this game. It's not been giga good. This amount of Hydras here could get pretty tooled up by these Phoenixes. Looks like he lost 1 or 2 actually. He's down to 7. 18 total worker kills so far. Let's see these Hydras. Oh, almost. Great control out of Patience. Does keep those alive. These units are a little ways away from home here. This is a good little chunk of army. Colossus is done. Looks like the Thermal Lance has been finished as well. pretty good sized army here out of our Zerg player. Looks like he may wish to try to push in, but he's going to be trapping his own army essentially on this side. There is nothing in the main base right now to deal with these lings. They might get in a ton of damage. They didn't get the Nexus as well. This army is not super strong in this one spot here from the Patience. But these Colossus are just ripping through this Hydra wall. And he doesn't actually get the Nexus overall. How many probes did he get? He only got 4 probes, didn't kill the Nexus, and lost almost his entire army. Not the best trade. 13 Corruptors on the way. Corruptors are obviously going to be great against the Phoenixes and against the Colossus. 3 Void Rays in position. They do have +1. Air finished as well. Protoss player is kind of being a little aggressive here, and I don't know if that's required. He could just sit back at home, get up a little bit of a bigger army, get to that really good unit count that I think he needs. Kind of surprised to see him push forward, particularly with no recall. May have seen all those Corruptors bounce out and is deciding to turn around and head home. It's not much for Stalkers at all in this army. So his anti-air is essentially these Void Rays and some Phoenixes that don't necessarily do that good against the Corruptors. Let's see if he starts warping in some Stalkers just to help deal with this. +2 attack is on the way for our Protoss, sorry, Zerg player. He's got +1 air, that's cool. And +1 armor for the ground, but no attack upgrades. Not a lot of ground army here, it's just essentially the Corruptors, so even if he kills everything in the air, the Corruptors aren't going to be able to kill anything on the ground. Looks like the hatchery on the far left is getting attacked right now. One Colossus almost goes down with essentially a one-shot. There's the Stalkers coming in finally. I mean, the Stalkers are great against the Roaches and while dealing with this massive anti-air. Big pile of Zealots look like they come in here and get a lot of damage. Maybe Hyun feels a little forced up into a wall right now because I don't think he's really got the right composition to fight this army. Even if, once again, he kills all the air units in the Colossus, there might be just enough stuff for the Protoss here to just live on the ground. Actually, all the Corruptors got melted. Phoenixes pick up the last of the Roaches. That was a pretty big beatdown. One Roach over here just being cool. Surprised he hasn't got one Observer just to be able to help deal with this a bit more. The Army of Patience, fairly small once again, but he does want to make sure that there isn't any hatcheries going down, keeping themselves on an even footing. Units wise, there's a pretty good lead right now, economy, for the Protoss player. Probably got all of the probes he's going to need for this game. This one Roach has got to feel pretty good about himself. Colossus are still being made, but I think at this point he's just going to be focusing a lot on gateway units. And these Immortals in here will do great. All these Corruptors in the air, so many Corruptors being made, but there's not a ton of things to kill right now. Oh, he doesn't even have Blink as well. Taking a really, oh wow, run-bys. That's sneaky. He doesn't have Burrow either, that was just a straight up like happy run-by. Well, it looks like that wasn't enough for Hyun. He does end up going down, even after he'd killed a whole bunch of workers there. Just couldn't actually get out the right kind of army composition to deal with that. Best of 3, everybody. That was game number 1, and we're moving on to game number 2.